Good morning, everybody. This is Toucan Dragon, and welcome back to Digimon Rearise. Before I start this video, I just want to apologize that I haven't been posting much this week. Again, work has still been kinda crazy, and hopefully it'll line up next week so I can start posting more videos. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about the new step-up banner featuring the Guaranteed Brave Magnamon and BlackWarGreymon. I honestly prefer this step-up banner than the other one that we have with Magnamon, because BlackWarGreymon basically negates what makes Omegamon and Gaomon so good. Their crit. So by having BlackWarGreymon in your team, he should improve your gameplay going up against those Digimon. And for Magnamon, he's okay. I feel like it can be mostly used in PvE content, but during Tenacious Week, which is this week, he'll be doing pretty good damage due to his passive. So let's get into more detail, shall we? So starting with the HP stat, BlackWarGreymon actually has pretty good HP at 6133. It's significantly more higher than Wargreymon's 5720, but slightly less than Good Chubimon's 6860. Now going to his tech is actually kind of, I want to say maybe below average than our normal Calm Digimon that we have out at 3131, while Wargreymon has 3520 and Good Chubimonn has 3305, but BlackWarGreymon is mostly going to tank more hits than do more damage. I feel like his role in the team is mostly as a support. Looking at his defense at 1409, which is much higher than Wargreymon's 1339 and Good Chubimon's 1339. And the speed is the same across the board. Looking at his main skill, BlackWarGreymon does 280% damage to 3 enemies, increases allies' counter rate by 30%, and increases tech resistance by 20%. His main skill is okay. The counter rate up is nice, and the tech resistant up is nice as well. But because of the tech resistant up, it's kind of situational. It all depends on what your enemies want to run. Now, in a week like this week, we're seeing mostly power being run, so his main skill won't help much because of that tech resistant up, but the counter attack rate up it's nice. It's very appreciated. It helps your team attack more often, which, even though it's not a skill, is an attack and you're doing damage. So you want to keep your DPS up. With Wargreymon slightly different. Wargreymon is more of a self-buffer and an enemy debuffer. He does 280% damage to 3 enemies, as same as BlackWarGreymon, except he lowers the enemy's block rate by 30% and increases his own tech by 50%. And with Chubimon, we have 340% damage to 2 enemies, but plus 25% to calm allies in defense, and 55% chance to inflict shock to those 2 enemies. So BlackWarGreymon is a calm support, just like Good Chubimon, while Wargreymon is an attacker. At first glance, BlackWarGreymon doesn't really seem as special. Like, he has pretty good stats with his HP and defense, but his main skill isn't as helpful as the Good Chubimon, or as self-buffing and attack-oriented as our Wargreymon. Looking at BlackWarGreymon's subskill, he deals 160% damage to 4 enemies and increases your allies' defense by 20% for 2 turns. It's not a big defense buff, but it helps your allies not to be as squishy. Versus Wargreymon's subskill, which he does 260% damage to 2 enemies and lowers their tech by 30%, and Good Chubimon does 260% damage to 2 enemies and lowers their crit rate by 30%. To be honest, I kind of prefer BlackWarGreymon's subskill than Good Chubimon. Yes, Good Chubimon lowers enemy crit rate by 30%, but it's only for 2 enemies, and you can't really aim where you're gonna hit. Versus BlackWarGreymon, he increases all your allies' defense, not just 2 or 3, but all of them. Now going down to the passive, we see why BlackWarGreymon is so good, especially in a Brave and Calm team. So his passive is, all Brave and Calm allies are immune to Skill Lock and Blind. Right away, that's nice, because Skill Lock and Blind are the most annoying status effects that we have, and we don't have that many Digimon that can negate Skill Lock. The only ones I believe are Magnamon, but she only does it to herself, and Sukuyamon, but Sukuyamon is really squishy. And for Blind, I can't think of anything on top of my head that negates blind, but I know there are a few. But that goes to show you that it's nice. Skill lock and blind, they're very annoying, and he kind of deals with that. But that's not the best part. The best part is the secondary effect. All Brave and Calm allies are immune to extra crit damage for a turn. So Omegamon and Galmon can no longer one-hit KO you when the battle begins. So it's really nice, and if you're having trouble with Omegamon and Galmon, this can help you deal with that. Because other than crit, they have nothing else going on for them. Yes, they have high power, but they get most of the damage from their main skill, which does double the crit damage. It's really nice, and it helps combat our current meta. Now, he's not meta changing, mind you, but he helps people who can't really catch up with the meta because they don't have those Digimon, or if they can't deal with those Digimon, put him in your team and he can help you out a little bit. Now going to Wargreymon. Wargreymon reduces Calm Allies' next 2 skill cooldown by 30%, which is nice and his only supportive skill that he has. And he deals 1.3 times more damage to deft enemies and targets them more easy, which means he targets them first. And for Wargreymon, he increases all Calm Allies' block rate by 20% and increases the maximum HP by 20%. So that's kind of nice, and I feel like BlackWarGreymon with Wargreymon in the same team, they'll be really good supports to help out your All-Force, your Wargreymon, and even Slayerdramon. They are good supporters to have in your Calm team, especially during Calm Week. And since BlackWarGreymon is kind of flexible, he could also go in the Brave team, because his effects also go into Brave allies. Now let's look at Brave Magnamon. Now, his stats aren't anything too special. His HP is pretty decent at 5889. To be honest, other than that, he's okay. His stats are kind of on par with our average Brave Digimon. I mean, looking at Impildramon outclasses him in power by like 400 points, and Alphamon as well, because they're both at 3920. The defenses are okay. Impildramon's defense is pretty low at 1339. Magnamon is just slightly higher at 1389, but Alphamon has the most at 1584. And Magnamon's speed is 27, which is average for most Digimon, minus Alphamon, but if you have Alphamon's plugins, you kind of compensate for that. Looking at his skills, Magnamon looks more like he can thrive more in PvE content than he can in PvP. His main skill is there to buff him while dealing with multiple enemies, and his sub-skill is there to deal with bosses because it's a single target and buffs him slightly with the plus 40 crit rate. So, again, going with his main skill, he does 340% damage to 2 enemies, 40% chance to inflict skill lock on those 2 enemies for 2 turns, and he buffs his power by 40% for 2 turns. Again, this kind of deals with just mobs, and the skill lock is nice, but in the battle park, since now we have BlackWarGreymon, this is going to be kind of iffy, but if your opponent is running anything other than Brave and Calm, there's a higher chance of the skill lock working than the Brave or Calm ally that they have. And in Underworld, this is very useful because in Underworld now, it's slightly more difficult, which means it's slightly more fun. And having him around in Underworld will help you progress through the stages a lot easier. Comparing his main skill with Impildramon, same amount of damage to the same amount of enemies, except Impildramon is more of a debuffer and a self-buffer, so he decreases 2 enemies' targets by 30%, and increases his own power by 30% for 2 turns. Impildramon has a slight edge than Magnamon in PvP, but in PvE, Magnamon is a much brighter star. And for Alphamon kind of has the same thing, except Alphamon deals 280 to 3 enemies, and has a 50% chance to inflict skill lock to those 3 enemies, while buffing himself. Alphamon, he's good in the battle park, he's good in Underworld, but since BlackWarGreymon's out, Alphamon won't be as effective now because of his skill lock. He won't be able to affect Brave or Calm allies as much, but he's still useful, he can still do damage. Alphamon is a hard-hitting tank. He can hit hard and take hits. Now going down to the sub-skill, Magnamon deals 320% damage to 1 enemy, while increasing his own crit by 40% for a turn. Again, it shows you that he's mostly useful in PvE content. He buffed himself slightly with his main skill, which he used to take out some mobs, and then he's going for the boss, so he's doing that single target and buffing himself even more with a plus 40% crit. For Impojimon deals 210% damage to 3 enemies, with a 40% chance to inflict blind on those targets, which, since Wargreymon is out now, well, BlackWarGreymon I mean, his secondary effect won't be as useful as it once was. And with Alphamon deals 320% to one enemy, while power buffing himself by 25%. And then going down to their passive skills, Magnamon's passive is what can help him go into PvP in certain situations, such as this week. Magnamon protects brave allies from blind, which is nice going against Impojimon, but his main thing is he deals 1.3 times more damage to tenacious enemies, while targeting them more easy. Now, Impojimon Dragonmon kinda has the same effect, however it's more towards deft. And Alphamon has the basic immunity passive that we see most Digimon have nowadays. So again, Magnamon's passive helps him go up into PvP every now and then, but keep in mind he won't be thriving up there. He'll be thriving more in the underworld. With all that said, keep in mind, this banner is here for over a month, until June, I believe. So there's no rush into pulling for BlackWarGreymon. Yes, he is good, and he is nice to have in your team, but if you're doing fine right now dealing with Omegamon and Galmon, then you don't need him right away. You know, he's not meta changing like those Digimon. All he's doing is protecting your team from those Digimon, but if you already have a solid protection against them, then don't pull now. If you want him, then you could get him, but wait a little more, because we don't know what's coming out next month. Next month could be something really good, and you'll be kicking yourself if you wasted all your rubies trying to chase for BlackWarGreymon. Keep that in mind. As for me, I want to wait to pull for him, but because I need content, I might pull for him soon. But what do you guys think? Have you guys pulled for BlackWarGreymon yet? Or are you gonna wait a little bit to see what next month brings? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button. And if you want to see more Digimon Rearise content like this, and if you don't mind all over the place upload schedules, then show your support and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you can be notified when I post more videos. This has been Toucan Dragon, and if I can, you can too. Bye guys. Since you guys are patiently waiting for this video, I think you guys earned watching me waste some rubies on this banner. Let's see if we're lucky enough to get them both within this first pull. If not, then I don't know, let's see what happens. And here we go. Comes with bits, 50 rubies for 3 summons. Awesome. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Come on, Rainbow. Of course not. That would have been too good. Nope. You gonna change to the next one? Change? Nope. And one more. Come on, give me a change. And there's no change. Great. At least we got bits. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.